So guys, what new RC car did Richie buy on Amazon Prime Day? Well, this one is one that is actually only available on Amazon. Yet it is from one of the major RC manufacturers. But literally, you can only buy this particular car on Amazon. And a couple of times a year, it seems to come on sale. I think Steve O'D got one the last time I saw it, and I just missed out on getting it at a decent price. It sells for normally for about 120 on Amazon, but yours truly picked up the redcat piranha for a bargain, $62 on Amazon Prime Day. So let's see what we got for our money. Just remember guys, if you like what you see today, don't forget to subscribe. Anyway guys, although it's just a brushed two-wheel drive 110 scale car, I thought at that price point, just too good a deal to pass up on. As I've said, if you have a look at them online, they do look quite fun, and I have a few ideas for what I can do with it in terms of modifications. We'll come on to that later on in the video. Anyway, come on over and have a look at what we get for our money. Anyway, let's take a look at what we get for our money. Rear wing, so I've got to fit that in just a second. The car itself, but I'll come back to that when I put the wing on. Instruction manual, complete with 4 AA batteries, which is always a good sign. Ready to run clearly does mean totally ready to run. And looking in here, I'm guessing we've got our transmitter. I'm assuming the battery is probably still in the car. And in the box, we've got our battery charger. And just our transmitter. Nothing else in there, so I'm assuming, or hoping, the battery is with the car. Okay, so what have we got with the transmitter? Okay, now looking at that transmitter, we're fairly basic, which you'd expect at this price point. Off, on there, steering trim on the top, but you can also reverse the steering trim, so if you're left-handed or right-handed, you can still steer the car forwards, backwards, brake, steering on there. I'm assuming our 4A batteries go under there, so let's get those in. Anyway guys, next step, install that rear wing and then show you the car. Just noting along the way, it says never use the nickel metal hard drive chargers to charge a LiPo battery. Okay guys, before I even open the car, I'm liking this a lot. That is because that rear wing doesn't need a screw on or anything. Just comes with the two little washer fixings you put over the top there, and you just put two of the clips through, and that is the rear wing installed. So let's have a look at the car. Anyway guys, what are our first impressions of the redcat piranha? Check out that tyre tread. Looks mainly street focused on there. But we shall see. I have a fairly serious modification planned for this, pretty much straight out of the box. Say 540 can motor tucked away at the back there, completely ready to run. And there goes. I'm going to have a close look at the shocks and the suspension setup when I get the body off. But overall, not at all bad, or certainly not bad. Completely ready to run for $62.50. Anyway, time to get that body off. So what have we got under the skin? I literally have no idea what to expect here guys. One thing I did read is it has got a 2-in-1 ESC and receiver that is designed to keep the price point down. Now it does make modifying it and upgrading it a little bit tricky, but yours truly has a big bag of tricks to play with. Anyway, at the back there guys, with the body off, we've got our 540 can motor. Not sure on the number of turns on the motors. It didn't specify it on the Amazon website or on Redcat's own website. We've got our spur and pinion gear tucked away in there. Now, the rear shocks, guys, and the front, fully adjustable threaded shocks. At this price point, come on. And not only that, the more eagle-eyed amongst you will also have spotted that we have got adjustable suspension both at the rear and at the front as well. Yeah. There are cars costing double this guys that do not have those features straight out of the box. Adjustable suspension and threaded shocks, $62.50. Starting at the front, impact bumper, got a good bit of give on that, which is nice to see rather than being so rigid that they either snap or don't absorb any of the shock. Now all of the suspension geometry and everything is plastic on here, and tucked away at the front there we've got our steering servo. The battery, the included nickel metal hydride 2000 milliamp pack, sitting dead centre on there for good weight distribution. Your typical redcat battery connectors on here, but we do have an adapter for my fast charger for those. Yes. Now moving on to ESC, I was thinking, oh, not a big fan of combined ESC and receivers, but I spot on the top there, it has got adapters, it has got jumper adapters on there for nickel metal hydride or LiPo. So I'm guessing this thing can take a 2S LiPo and a push, which yours truly has got plenty of lying around. And speaking of that battery, guys, here we have in the manual maximum nickel metal hydride battery, 7.2 volt, 5,800 milliamps, maximum LiPo battery, 2S, 5,000 milliamp, 20C rating on there. I'm wondering how fast this thing is going to be on that. So that leaves me wondering, how fast is this going to be? Not just on the stock nickel metal hydride pack, but potentially on a 2S LiPo as well. And yours truly has obviously got the RC GPS needed to test this car out. So I'll definitely be running that as soon as I can. Anyway, before I turn the car over and have a look at the underside and do a suspension test on our things, boys and girls, I have immediately begun thinking of a few mods for this car, because thanks to the very nice people at Castle Creations, this morning in the post I got back and my 4600 kV motor with a new motor shaft fitted on it, so that is all ready to go again, and I've got a spare member X controller sat around waiting for just a project like this. Not only that, earlier on in the week 2 new receivers came from Banggood. These are the 6-channel ones for the use with this Dumbo RC radio. Now this radio, guys, has got ABS braking and a gyro built in to that receiver on there. So I'm thinking, with that receiver, that transmitter and that power plant, we should be able to turn this thing into an absolute little monster. What do we think, guys? Thumbs up if you like that idea. Okay guys, quick scan down the underside. That's the rear of the car there. We've got no wheelie bar on there. I'm wondering how much this car will run a wheelie with that rear mounted motor on there. And you've got one of these, love to hear from you. It's a plastic chassis tray, not unexpected at this price point, but I still cannot get away from the fact that's got the adjustable suspension and the threaded shocks there, guys. Anyway guys, time for a quick suspension test, but in the meantime I'm going to get that battery on charge and we're going to go and take it for a little play outside at the end of this video, see just how well the redcat piranha handles. Okay guys, lifting that front suspension till the rear just comes up. Here we got quite a bit of travel on this, quite a lot of travel on this, maybe 5 to 6 inches of travel on there, boys and girls. I was not expecting that. Reasonably well sprung and damped. Might have that, read the manual, see just what oil we've got in the dampers in there. On round, let's check the back suspension travel out. Normally it's a little bit less than the front, but nothing would surprise me with this thing. Oh yeah, a little bit less than the front there, maybe about 3 inches, 3.5 inches on the rear there. And again, reasonably well sprung. The rear seems better damped than the front does, but as I say, we'll read the instruction manual, see what oil we've got fed in those, because that's a very easy thing to be able to change around to adjust the suspension on there. But first thoughts are, it's also a cracking little basher for the money. Anyway guys, speaking of quick bash, battery's been charging overnight, so the redcat piranha is ready to go. So 4A batteries in my transmitter. Let's get outside and see just how well it handles. Got a full-on test of like our first proper bash coming later on this week, but for now we're going to take it outside, quick spin around the yard, bit of drive on the grass, see how we get on. Okay guys, running the stock 2000 milliamp nickel metal hydride battery included with the piranha, so we're just going to give it a go, see how we go. First of all though, I've been practicing off camera, that throttle, very smooth movement even at low speed on there. That's full steering lock. Oh, that's not going to be tail happy is my initial thoughts on there. We'll soon change that when that Castle power's fitted though. Ooh, nice brakes there, Richie. Very good braking, very strong brakes indeed, which is great. As I say, certainly something one of the first things I test on the car is not how fast it'll go, but how fast it'll stop, because that's the thing that's going to get you out of trouble. Going fast, getting yourself in trouble is easy. Very forgiving. I'm thinking it almost wants to understeer, which for a two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive car is kind of nice to see, and makes me think it will be ideally suited to taking a lot more power in there, because not wanting to provoke that rear out at all under full throttle there. I mean, you can just corner as hard as you like on there, and that's on full throttle cornering, and it's wanting to understeer. If anything, no signs of getting that back end loose on there at all, which is good to see. Anyway, let's take it on some grass, see how we get on. Well, decent amount of pace on there.
and it's not getting kicked around offline too much at all. That's holding its line quite well, which is, let's see, put a few turns in there, Richie boy. Quite a large steering radius, but that's no bad thing. Okay, full throttle on grass towards me. Now, in a minute, I am struggling to provoke the back end of that thing to go at all. So even that rear-mounted motor, no one in a wheelie at all, which is no bad thing, guys. Wheeling is fun, but if you like going fast, and as you like go around modifying cars, the one thing you're going to find is the faster you go, the more keen you are to keep all four wheels planted on the ground, because otherwise you can't steer like trying to steer at 65. The only thing there, when I'm getting to, like, if you turn under braking, you can flick the back end round like that, a bit like pulling a handbrake on your car. There, on full lock with the brakes on, and it'll flick round, but you ain't getting that back end to unseat with the stock battery power. No way, shape or form. Certainly not on this surface. That is, I have to say, quite impressive. It doesn't really want to get kicked around off the grass there. And my steering there, boys, not the car getting kicked around on here. Holds its line pretty much straight on there. Again, that back end will flick out, what, only if you're turning under heavy braking. So, I have to say, the redcat piranha has impressed me out of the box. It's fast as opposed to blisteringly quick, but then think of this price point, guys. It's about 120 bucks normally, as I say, about $62.50 or something I paid for it on Amazon. I'm thinking that is a pretty good deal I've got there for the minute there, boys. I might check the oil in the shocks on there. They are oil-filled shocks. But how much oil they've got in them remains to be seen until I take them apart, but that's a nice simple job. But overall, I'm thinking they're not doing too bad a job on it, because the car is not getting kicked around on this bumpy grass surface whatsoever on there. Also got a full test coming later on this week, guys and girls, including a GPS speed test. I'm going to see how fast this thing is with a stock battery, and then I'm going to see how fast it is with the 2S LiPo pack on board. Now, there may not be that much of a difference in speed, because we're looking at 7.2 volts versus 7.4 volts, and it's the voltage that makes the speed, guys, not necessarily the absolute power of the battery, although it does come into it a little bit. A lot of it's high speed is to do with the high voltage. Anyway, you don't want to miss any of that action, and a forthcoming big bashing test I've got planned for this, as well as that brushless conversion, which I've got in mind for this very, very soon. Then don't forget to subscribe, guys, because there's a lot more coming from this car, believe me.
Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video, and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.